Can we even call it a win? The Falcons knock off the 2-win Raiders 15-9 after letting Las Vegas creep back into this game in the final minute or two and be a Hail Mary away from knocking off a Falcons team that we believe to be playoff contenders, or at least at one point we believed it. I have no confidence in this team for the next 3 weeks. They're supposed to go 3-0 because they beat the Raiders 15-9. I have lost all faith in Kirk Cousins. I don't know why this coaching staff, if they have a gun to their head, if they are being blackmailed, but they continue to stand by Cousins, who gives us nothing to believe in. I'm not trying to pile on Kirk, but how many more games do we have to watch to see he does not have it? That interception, it was slightly tipped, but he just doesn't have his fastball. He's throwing off platform. Guy went 11 for 17. That is a Maction stat line in Kent, or no, let's go with like in Miami, in Oxford, Ohio, between Miami, Ohio, and University, Ohio, in late November. That's what I see when I think of 11 for 17 for a little over 100 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. This coaching staff has no faith in calling a pass. They are going to run Bijan into the ground because they do not trust Kirk Cousins on 1st and 10 to get under center and drop back and throw the football. Put in Michael Penix. What more do we need to see? The Falcons sitting, now we'll look at the playoff picture in a moment. 11 for 17, 112 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Bijan had more yards. Look at the playoff picture. It's not completely updated just because the game just finished here. But Atlanta sits at 7-7, so they're tied with the Cardinals now, but that's not really important. They are 1 game back from the Buccaneers. The Falcons' 3 remaining games after this win include the Giants at home, Commanders on the road, and then the Panthers at home. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, they've got Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, Panthers at home, Saints. Sure, Tampa might slip up one more, but do we have any faith that Atlanta's going to run the table here and go 3-0 in the stretch? They'll probably beat the Giants by the same score they beat the Raiders, and they're going to lose one of these 2 games. You know what's probably going to happen? They're going to win this one. They're going to somehow shock us all and beat the Commanders, and then they're going to lose to the Panthers at home where it's win and get in because the Bucs will have lost one other game that day. Actually, I bet the Bucs lose to the Saints in Week 18, and then it's win and get in for the Falcons, and Younghoe Koo misses the game-winning field goal from 44 yards. There's the rest of the season for you because that is the, I wouldn't say effort we saw today, but the result. The final score, 15-9 against an FCS-level NFL team. A team that's actively tanking. If you watch the game, all the fans are rooting for the Falcons. There are signs in the front row, tank for Shador. And you let Desmond Ridder get 35 yards away from possibly winning this game. And yeah, Bijan, I love him because he has such a unique ability to shift gears while in full speed, right? You see it all the time with him where he slips out of a hole, he bounces it outside, he shifts out of a tackle while still maintaining that top-end speed. So Robinson was awesome. Drake London got back in the end zone in the first quarter off a 30-yard wide-open touchdown pass from Cousins, which ended his drought of no touchdown passes dating back to Week 9, November 3rd against the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry for all Darnell Mooney fantasy owners out there that were trying to advance. Yeah, he got nothing. Kyle Pitts had a couple of dump downs on 3rd and long to put together 4 grabs for 28 yards. But overall, this offense is dragging, and it's because of 18. Do we really believe Michael Penix could be any worse? Is Penix like the worst quarterback in the history of practice? That the bar is just, you can't be worse than 100 yards and change and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That's the bar right now. And somehow Penix can't surpass that because the Falcons are dug in on what they set out to do, which is start Cousins for at least 1 year, possibly 2, and then go to Penix. Well, you know what? Time to call an audible. It's football. That's what you do. Make a change, Raheem. The season is going to go down the drain just as the defense starts to play well because you won't make a change. For the first time, this defense has shown us something to be proud of. And their efforts are going to be for none because of your stinginess to deviate from the original plan. Either that, there's a sniper that's got a red dot on his forehead, and if he puts 9 in, it's Day of the Jackal 2.0. Or 3, he is being blackmailed. Those are the only options. More to rant on in a moment. First, a shout out to our friends over at GameTime. If you are bold enough and brave enough to go see the Falcons in person, go use GameTime. Or if you want to go check out a college football playoff game like UGA, or you want to go to a Hawks game, or any other sporting event in your area, use GameTime during the holiday season. It's a great time to be with friends and family members. It also makes for a great last-minute gift if you forgot to get one for your significant other. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. I put all that information, because I love you guys, in the comments and description of today's video. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. Let's talk about Atlanta's defense, because we've seen some life from them. For one, the pass rush and also the takeaways. Kadero Hodge gets a max extension for special teams, which is probably like 3 years, $15 million, but I'd pay every single penny of that. 2 blocked punts from 12. Now, Younghoe Koo missing a 42-yard field goal is just the icing on top of just when you think special teams kind of has it going. Nope, we're going to take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But the pass rush came alive. This defense has put up more sacks in the last couple of games than they did in the first 9 weeks of the season. Now, they're still dead last in the NFL in sacks because they were that far behind, but they are making strides. They are making improvements. They are getting better. But the offense is undermining them because they refuse to make a change. Everyone in that locker room has to know Kirk Cousins is not giving us our best chance to win. So congratulations. You ended your 4-game losing streak by beating the 2-win Raiders, who aren't even trying to hide the fact that they're tanking, by 6 points. And by the way, honestly, no, all jokes aside, like Desmond Ridder, I thought he played pretty well. I mean, for starters, the Raiders trust Ridder more than the Falcons do. Ridder threw the ball 38 times. Kirk Cousins threw it 17. 38-17. He just started his first game. He's just learning out how to get to the facility. He hasn't been there that long. And that's what the Raiders think of Ridder. Much higher than Kirk Cousins. The Raiders' defense had no respect for Cousins. They just sold out for the run and blitzed non-stop because they weren't afraid of Cousins. And why should they be? Anyone that's watched a second of film for the last month knows Kirk Cousins, he doesn't have it. And I'm not setting out on a mission to just drag the guy 6 feet under. But I'm trying to preach what I believe is best for this team. And that is number 9, your top 10 draft pick, who's standing on the sideline with his helmet on because everyone and their mother knows, well, surely can't be any worse than Penix and Cousins. Might as well give Michael Penix a shot. Georgia fans watching, I thought Brock Bowers had a pretty solid game. I mean, just 3 grabs, 35 yards. But if anyone watched the game, you actually saw how, dynamic he is as a receiver. So kudos to the Falcons defense for kind of taking him away in the second half. But the Falcons defense has improved, and I'm very happy to see that after having a horrific start to the year when it comes to the pass rush. We got a Jesse Bates interception on the pick six. On the Hail Mary. We get a Justin Simmons interception. We get a forced fumble recovered by Atlanta on the opening drive. from the Raiders. This defense was making plays, takeaways, sacks, and the offense rewarded them with 13 points, 2 of which came from the defense, a safety. So one more time, peeking at the playoff picture, the Falcons, who are now 7-7, are 1 game back of the Buccaneers. They need Tampa to slip up at least once. If both teams go 3-0 over the last 3 weeks, it's Tampa Bay winning the NFC South. The Falcons have to finish with a better record. So if the Bucs go 2-1, Atlanta has to go 3-0. If the Bucs go 1-2, Atlanta has to go 2-1. If the Bucs go 0-3, Atlanta has to go 1-2. Falcons have the head-to-head tiebreaker. I think I know the answer to this question, but if you're still on the fence after watching this video, who do you think should start at quarterback? Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix? Let me know down below to wrap up today's episode.